Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for June the 9th, and we're starting off with Stage 1 that has 58,000 hit points. Now, I realize I'm throwing critters at a cannon. It's basically just because I have no idea how many hit points that has, and I just wanted to see if it was even possible. The fact that it is possible for the critters to take you down that cannon, I know it's pretty low. You can toss some GBE at it, blow it up before your tanks even get there, and make this the safest ride they've ever had. Flare over to the right. You're way out of line for any defenses. Easy win. Moving on to Stage 2. So Stage 2 has 85,000 hit points. You're landing on the right again, this time throwing your GBE at the boom cannon. This time I would make it a lot less optional. Definitely take out that boom cannon before you start getting close to it. Or if you absolutely must, because you can't take it out, flare onto it, shock it, and then ride in and hope for the best. Now, I'm throwing critters, which obviously is just my silliness. I just wanted to see if I could kill the shock launcher before the tanks got to the HQ, kind of like a race. And also, I saw the stupid gold statue, and I was like, I need to take this opportunity to kill the gold statue, because screw that gold statue, that's why. Now, once you've cleared up the defenses in front of the HQ, flare over to the right. You'll be a mile away from anything that can shoot at you, and basically take out the HQ for a nice easy win, and a movement on, well, maybe not a movement, but moving on to Stage 3. Now, Stage 3 has 172,000 hit points, so they definitely up the hit point, headquarters hit points. You know what I'm saying. The point is, I kind of let my... No, this is not the point at all. But seriously, I kind of let my tanks roam because I wanted to blow up that gold statue, and it put me in range of the boom cannon. So maybe don't do that. As much fun as it is to blow up the gold statues, probably not great. Now, also here, I could have shocked all those defenses, most importantly the sniper towers, because they're the ones that are actually going to be hurting your tanks, by all means. Also, that smoke, completely unnecessary, but I was just like, maybe, I don't know. So, save yourself that smoke. But once you've gone up the left-hand side and taken out the sniper towers and taken out all the things you need to, once you're in this very bottom left-hand corner, there's absolutely nothing that can hit you, and you can basically sit there and go for a coffee, while your tanks work the HQ down, which is good because you're going to need that coffee for Stage 4. Stage 4 is an interesting bugger. So on Stage 4, it only has 153,000 hit points, which is sweet, but there's a shock launcher right behind the HQ with 12.5k, give or take, and the HQ is right on the beach. So this is an incredibly GBE front-loaded attack, meaning you've got to take out that shock launcher, and then land your troops, and then throw a shock bomb, all basically without getting any GBE from taking out defenses. So I'll show you where to drop the shock bomb, because you could take out everything on the right hand side that can hit you, basically. Right there. And you want your tanks to slowly work up the right hand side. Now, I'm throwing an artillery to take out this boom mine. By all means, if you don't have the GBE, just suck it up. Take the hit, lose the tank if you need to, but flare everything over into the bottom right-hand corner, right there, because basically once you get up into this position, the only thing that can really hit you is one sniper tower, and if you've got the GBE, by all means, you can just pop it and call it a day. If you don't, from here, you should be able to flare up onto that sniper tower, kill it, and then flare back into this bottom corner, because the second sniper tower behind it doesn't have range when you're in that little safe pocket. So if you take out the one sniper tower, basically you don't have to worry about your tanks getting messed up or anything. Whew. All right, moving on to stage 5, which today seemed pretty decent. Like, stage 4 is definitely... Ooh, piece of candy. Stage 4 is definitely tricky. Stage 5... It's still kind of in that window of sometimes it's hard for me to tell, because now that I've got such high level tanks and whatnot, sometimes it seems like it would be easy. Like, I only landed 3 tanks, but I feel like if you're the appropriate level, it might be a little trickier. Now, basically, I started throwing shock bombs here, and then realized, you know what, better to save that for later on. So I stopped that, and instead just threw some GBE attacks, not necessarily to take out any one defense, but I just wanted to carpet bomb the entire area so that I could lower the hit points and let my tanks kind of work through it a little bit quicker. Also, if you don't have the GBE available, like, completely optional, it just makes things a little quicker and easier. And, you know, it might save a tank or two, but it's by no means mandatory. So we let the tanks continue creeping up the right-hand side, and I started shocking because now we're in the range of the sniper towers. Oh, excuse me. Oh, mamma mia. All right. So, I started shocking because the sniper towers actually will do damage to our poor tanks, and as you can see, one of my tanks is getting hella low, which is not a good thing, and I know this cannon is coming up, and of course, the low tank has to go straight for that cannon, but target the rocket, or the flamethrower, sorry. Son of a gun. So, again, threw another stun. Again, also, if you don't have the GBE for that, it's okay, you might lose a tank or two, but at this point, I'm just kind of trying to keep my troops standing so that I don't have to worry about it for the next couple of stages. But if this is your limit, like, by all means, losing a few tanks is kind of the cost of business, if you would. Anyways, once you've taken out the cannon, you can flare down to right next to the statue, and from there is basically one stupid rocket launcher that can target you, and if you've got 2 boats of medics, which hopefully you do, they should be able to out-heal it, and as you can see from my tank, I end up getting to the point where, you know, the health bar gets pretty darn full. So, that's kind of nice. And that will take us on to Stage 6, which is great because today Stage 6 was very kind to the Team Ed. To the point where I think I might have been able to do it without landing all 6 crafts, but I wasn't expecting it. So anyways, important stuff first. 256k on the HQ, 13,000 HP on the boom cannon I just took out, 18,000 HP on the shock launcher that is kind of down and out of the range, so we don't even have to worry about it. And a buttload of defenses, most importantly, some golden statues in our way. Nah. Now, I landed right-hand side and basically started by letting the tanks just kind of roam and do their own thing. And the reason I did this is because there is a shock launcher we do have to go to on the right-hand side. And so the 18,000 hit points, you know, makes it important making. But I wanted to take out some of the defenses that would basically be pecking away at us while we slowly take out this shock launcher. Then I flared up, obviously right in front of it, threw down a shock to take out all the critical defenses, so obviously the shock launcher, but I also wanted to take out those sniper towers, and anything on top of that was basically icing on my cake, you know, like, it was pretty good, but not necessary. Now, at this point, I realized I got a little bit of extra GBE, and I started throwing some artillery and barrage at some of the random things around the base that I know I'm going to want to clean up. The cluster of cannons and sniper towers, I've kind of wanted to clear those out, and then, you know, weakening things that were in my path, basically, because I, for some reason, had spare GBE. Again, I state that Stage 6 is pretty kind today. If you're normally only doing 5, this Stage 6 is probably one of those Stage 6s you want to, like, give it a try. Even if you wipe your tanks, just give it a shot, because you might be pleasantly surprised. Anyways, once you've cleared out a bunch of defenses, you can gather everything up, and then I realized I had over 100 GB, and I was just like, what do I do? Critters! And you move on, you get a guaranteed crystal, which is fantastic, and go to Stage 7. Stage 7 has 486,000 hit points. Make sure you smoke when you're landing, or the boom cannon will do horrible things to your medics. Sorry. 86,000 hit points. The boom cannons, you're looking at around 20,000 on this bad boy. I'm going to blow him up right here. And then shock launchers, you can see it right there, have give or take 21,000 hit points. And stupid machine guns have the ability to lock up every single one of my freaking medics. Sorry. It's not the medic's fault. It's their parents' fault for not letting them go to a good medical school. I picture, like, you know, instead of Acapella U, they went to, like, you know, some weird Caribbean, like the same medical school Dr. Nick went to, basically, you know? Anyways, back to the attack. After you've taken out that free GBE stuff, there is another boom cannon just south of the HQ. You gotta pop that. The other two on the right-hand side that you can see there, you don't have to do anything about. If your tanks aren't ridiculous, they won't have the ability to get range on you. If your tanks are ridiculous like mine, well, you'll see. So, throwing a shock down on all the cannons and the sniper towers just to keep the tanks safe. And there's some dangerous stuff down there in the bottom. I didn't want my tanks wandering too far, so I kind of gathered everything up. Also, there's no shock launchers around here that could hurt me, so it only goes to kind of help smooth things out. And basically, from here on out is just a cruise to getting loot. However, that said, the sniper towers just on the other side of the HQ do have range on your lead tanks when they roll up way too far for some weird reason. And the boom cannon will have range on your lead tanks because they're friggin' idiots. So, if you see a couple of tanks kind of creeping forward, you can either just give up on them and sacrifice them. I chose to smoke them because I had a bunch of GBE left and figured, hey, why the heck not? But, like, if you re-flare, hopefully they'll regroup in a nice way and you're not going to have to worry about it. Whatever your preference is, it should be doable. But this is going to give you a Stage 7 win. And hopefully this has been helpful. And hopefully, hopefully you can take down a 7 that you normally wouldn't be able to take down. And most importantly, hopefully you have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.